Welcome to the StormCast. Today is Tuesday, December 23rd. Merry Christmas and happy holidays, everyone. It's a crispy 42 degrees outside. We're live on YouTube, Twitter, and Rumble, bringing you another episode. As always, the StormCast is available everywhere you can find podcasts, so be sure to drop a 5-star review on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitter and Rumble, and don't forget to like the video. Your support on Patreon also keeps us going strong. So let's get right into it. I hope everyone is having a great week as we enter the holiday weekend. I just want to say it's been a while since we've been live, the podcast, and we've done a solo pod. We've been doing a lot of podcasts with guests and a lot of pre-recorded videos. So I'm glad to be back with you guys. I hope everyone's holiday season is going well. Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. It's been a great year, a productive year. I made a lot of progress this year and a lot of content for you all with the channel and the podcast. And we went above and beyond all the expectations that we set for this year and met a lot of our goals, and we got a lot of goals to meet next year. So I look forward to bringing even more exciting content and podcasts and guests and everything else for you guys for the upcoming year. I've been posting a lot of content. So if you haven't checked out the latest episodes of the podcast, episodes 15 through 19, we've had guests on those. I recommend you guys go check those out. It's been a while since I've done a solo live pod, so excited to be back with you guys. We got new videos and content up on the YouTube channel on Stormy and Friends. Check out my handicap accessible house tour update and movie reviews. Me, my brother, my dad, we've done some movie reviews lately, and those have been pretty fun to do as well. We went and watched Smile 2, did a little review on that, and Gladiator 2, did a review on that. So go check those out on the YouTube, Stormy and Friends. But in other news, here's what you need to know to get up to speed. I got some topics for you guys. For the first topic we're going to talk about today, we got cancer-fighting robots. Cancer-fighting robots. So what I'm going to do here, if you're watching the video pod, we're going to bring up tab for you guys. We're going to be talking about some new exciting technology that's coming out and stuff that I found interesting. So yeah, let's get right into the first topic of the pod today. We have tiny robots thinner than a human hair could be used to fight cancer tumors, according to a study. So scientists have created tiny 3D printed micro robots, each measuring about 30 microns. So these are designed to deliver drugs directly to cancer cells. These small devices can transition between solid and liquid states, endure the stomach's acidic environment, and are safely expelled through urine. In mouse experiments, they effectively reduced bladder tumors with plans for future human trials. Wei Gao from Caltech explains that these micro robots offer targeted drug delivery and precision surgeries by transporting medications directly to tumors and releasing them in a controlled manner. This technology could eventually be adapted, right, to carry. Let's go down a little bit here. So this is cool. This is real cool news right here. This technology could eventually be adapted to carry diverse therapeutic agents for treating various medical conditions. So that's from AI Researches on Instagram. Shout out to AI Researches. Continuing with this topic, We have a Sun article from the sun.com titled Robot Cancer Key. Tiny robots thinner than a human hair could help fight cancer tumors, reveals study. So let's go down a little bit here. So scientists have crafted special 3D printed micro robots able to directly take drugs to cancer cells, right? They are only 30 microns, which is thousands of a millimeter in diameter, and can easily turn from solid to liquid and back. They can survive stomach acid and would pass out of the body in urine. A trial in mice has already helped to shrink the size of bladder tumors. A test on humans is now hoped in the long term. Continuing on this topic, we have a little video to go with it. So let's check this out. This is from Euro News on YouTube, titled "This Startup Wants to Send Tiny Injectable Robots into Human Brains to Fight Cancer." Let's see when this is posted. Down here, turn this up a little bit, scroll down. So this was posted 2 years ago. But yeah, let's check this out. This is related to the topic. So let's get right into it. It's only a minute long, short video. These tiny robots could one day crawl into your brain. Robots will have a benevolent mission to target and treat brain disorders.
What the micro-robotic technology, the Bionaut, does, it allows you to reach targets you were not able to reach, and reaching them repeatedly in the safest trajectory possible. For localized...
So this is Michael, for those listening to the audio podcast version. This is Michael Spielmaker, from CEO of Bionaut Labs, and he's talking about a different type of technology. This is different, but this is to also fight cancer. So
not able to reach, and reaching them repeatedly in the safest trajectory possible. For localized conditions such as cancer tumors, stroke, atherosclerotic plaque buildup, localized pain, and many other conditions, there is a real need to have a micro-robotic, precise, remote-controlled mechanism that can treat a condition only at a specific point and nowhere else.
So the micro robots could be used to treat brain tumors. Here, the bots will inject anti-cancer drugs into the tumors with targeted precision. The team behind the bot also hope it can treat Dandy Walker syndrome. A rare brain malformation that causes fluid-filled cysts in children.
The Bionaut travels to the cyst, fenestrates it, makes a hole once, twice, multiple times, brought out, and the cyst deflates, meaning the pressure is restored directly at the place where the problem was created.
The micro-robots are set to be used in clinical trials that will begin in about 2 years. So that's about this time, since this was posted about 2 years ago. So that's the article that we just read. And so it looks like these trials have begun, and we are getting these little robots in use for human trials, clinical trials.
We have tested that on large animals, sheep and pig, and that data shows that the technology is safe for use. In fact, that data has been shared with the FDA, who have granted us 2 accelerated designations last year for the first 2 conditions we want to treat.
So, ended that video there. Shout out to Euro News. That's pretty interesting stuff right there, in my opinion. So technology is constantly evolving. More news coming out with technology and how it can help out people that have cancer or tumors. So that's pretty good. Shout out to Euro News on that video, and it's exciting stuff. So moving on, we got a subject that's got everyone talking. So let's get into the details. It's AI technology that allows humans to talk to animals in real time. Let's share that here. AI technology that lets humans talk to animals in real time. Jane Lawton, the director of Impact at the Earth Species Project, shared insights into an experiment exploring communication between a bird and a machine to better understand animal interactions. Lawton highlighted that the Earth Species Project is a nonprofit environmental organization dedicated to collecting and analyzing animal sound data to support biodiversity conservation. The project leverages AI to classify animal sounds, aiming to decode and map patterns of interspecies communication. So shout out to Future Tech, credit to them, and World Government Summit. So Future Tech on Instagram for that article. Continuing with this topic, we have an article from sentimentmedia.org titled AI Animal Communication Breakthroughs Could Revolutionize Our Relationship with Animals. So advances in AI are paving the way for two-way communication with animals with profound ethical implications. Recent advancements in artificial intelligence might enable us for the first time to directly translate from animal communication to human language and back again. Can you just imagine being able to talk to, one of these monkeys here, and just being able to understand them and them being able to understand us, fluently? Not only is this theoretically possible, but scientists are actively developing two-way communication with other animals. If we do gain this ability, it would have profound implications for animal rights, conservation, and our understanding of animal sentience. So interspecies communication before AI. One definition of the word communication is a process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols, signs, or behavior. By this definition, humans have communicated with dogs for thousands of years to domesticate them. Animal domestication typically requires a lot of communication, such as yelling or telling your dog to stay or roll over. Dogs can also be taught to communicate various wants and needs back to humans, such as ringing a bell when they need to go to the bathroom. In some cases, humans have already been able to have two-way communication with specific individuals using human language, such as when Coco the gorilla learned to communicate using sign language. Gray parrots have also been shown to be able to learn and use speech at a similar level to very young children. However, two-way communication of this sort often requires a lot of work to establish. Even if one animal learns to communicate with a human, this skill does not translate to other members of that species. So I wonder if it's, just, higher level thinking animals such as, apes and birds like parrots. We know they can communicate with us, but I wonder if we'd be able to do this with something like an ant or an insect or, something that we don't think of being as intelligent, maybe, a hamster, something like that. But either way, we might be able to communicate limited information back and forth with our companion animals or with a specific gray parrot or chimpanzee. But that doesn't help us communicate with the multitude of squirrels, birds, fish, insects, deer, and other animals roaming the world, each of whom has their own mode of communication. Okay, so that pretty much answers my question right there. It doesn't seem like this would help us to communicate with those type of animals. But given the groundswell of recent progress in artificial intelligence, could AI eventually open up two-way communication between humans and the rest of the animal kingdom? Accelerating progress in artificial intelligence. So the core idea at the heart of modern artificial intelligence is machine learning, software that is good at finding useful patterns in data. ChatGPT finds patterns in text to generate your answers. Your photo app uses patterns in pixels to identify what's in the photo. and voice-to-text applications find patterns in audio signals to turn spoken sound into written language. It's easier to find useful patterns if you have a lot of data to learn from. Easy access to massive amounts of data on the internet is part of the reason why artificial intelligence has gotten so much better in recent years. Researchers are also figuring out how to write better software that can find more complex, useful patterns in the data that we have. With rapidly improving algorithms and an abundance of data, we seem to have reached a tipping point in the last few years where powerful new AI tools have become possible, taking the world by storm. Shout out Stormy and friends. With their surprising usefulness. It turns out these same approaches can be applied to animal communication too. So the rise of AI in animal communication research shows that animals, including human trials, make noises and body expressions that are all just different types of data: audio data, visual data, and even pheromone data. Machine learning algorithms can take that data and use it to detect patterns. With the help of animal welfare scientists, AI can help us figure out that one noise is the sound of a happy animal, while a different noise is the sound of an animal in distress. Researchers are even exploring the possibility of automatically translating between human and animal languages based on the fundamental properties of language itself, such as how words relate to each other to create meaningful sentences about the real world, potentially bypassing the need to interpret the meaning of individual sounds. While this remains a theoretical possibility, if achieved, it could revolutionize our ability to communicate with diverse species. When it comes to collecting animal communication data in the first place, portable microphones and cameras have proven essential. Karen Backer, author of The Sounds of Life: How Digital Technology is Bringing Us Closer to the Worlds of Animals and Plants, explained in Scientific American that digital bioacoustics relies on very small, portable, lightweight digital recorders, which are like miniature microphones that scientists are installing everywhere from the Arctic to the Amazon. They can record continuously 24/7. Recording animal sounds using this technique can give researchers access to vast amounts of data to feed into powerful modern AI systems. Those systems can then help us discover the patterns in that data. The overly simplistic way to put this is raw data goes in, information about animal communication comes out. This research is no longer theoretical. The Earth Species Project, a nonprofit dedicated to using artificial intelligence to decode non-human communication, is tackling the fundamental problems that are required to understand human-animal communications, such as collecting and categorizing data through their Pro-Vocal Repertoire project and their benchmark of animal sounds. The end goal: decoding animal language with an eye towards achieving two-way communication. Other researchers are working on understanding sperm whale communications, and there's even research into honeybees that analyzes the body movement and sounds of bees in order to understand what they're communicating. Deep Squeak is another software tool that can interpret rodent noises to determine when a rat is sick or in pain. Let's run up a little bit. So, despite the rather rapid progress and the proliferation of tools and research, many challenges lie ahead for this work. Kevin Coffey, a neuroscientist who helped create Deep Squeak, says, AI and deep learning tools are not magic. They are not going to suddenly translate all human sounds into English. The hard work is being done by biologists who need to observe animals in a multitude of situations and connect the calls to behaviors, emotions, etc. Implications of AI animal communication for animal rights shows people who care about animal welfare are taking note of this progress. Some foundations are betting money on the fact that interspecies communication is both possible and important for advancing the societal status of animals. In May, the Jeremy Collar Foundation and Tel Aviv University announced the Collar Doolittle Challenge for interspecies two-way communication, with a grand prize of $10 million for cracking the code on animal communication. So if anybody out there watching wants to figure out how we can communicate better with species, there is a grand prize out there of $10 million if you crack the code of animal communication. So, hefty prize right there if you want to, get into a project and you want a nice little payout. Dr. Sean Butler, the co-director of the Cambridge Center for Animal Rights Law, believes that if this challenge is successful at unlocking animal communication, it could lead to profound implications for animal law. So I didn't know that animals, you've heard of animal rights, but animal laws, there are animal laws out there as well. So we're making progress out there, trying to communicate with them, getting their, legislation for animals out there. So that's good that we have legal codes and laws for animals as well. Other legal researchers agree, arguing that an understanding of animal communication could force us to reevaluate our current approaches to animal welfare, conservation, and animal rights. So if a chicken living in a modern factory farm could communicate distress caused by living amid ammonia fumes emitted from their own waste, for instance, it might cause farmers to reevaluate keeping so many birds packed together in the same building, or perhaps one day it might even spur humans to reevaluate keeping them captive for slaughter at all. So increasing our understanding of animal language could shift how people emotionally relate to other animals. Research shows that when humans take on each other's perspectives, that leads to increased empathy. Could a similar result apply between humans and non-humans as well? Shared language is a primary way that people are able to understand the experiences of others. Increasing our ability to communicate with animals could plausibly increase our empathy towards them, or in some cases, it might even make it easier to exploit them. So ethical considerations and the future of AI animal communication shows that advances in AI could lead to significant positive shifts in the ways that humans treat animals, but they aren't without concerns. So some researchers worry that other animals might not be communicating in ways that translate meaningfully to human language. Yossi Yaval, a zoology professor at the University of Tel Aviv, at the chair of the $10 million prize for the two-way communication, has previously said, "We want to ask animals, how do you feel today? Or what did you do yesterday?" Now, the thing is, if animals aren't talking about these things, there's no way for us to talk to them about it. If other animals don't have the ability to communicate in certain ways, then that's it. See, that brings up a good point. Like, how exactly do animals communicate? They may not communicate directly like humans do and in the way that we do. So animals, however, often demonstrate their intelligence and capabilities in ways that are different from us humans. In his book, Are We Smart Enough to Know How Smart Animals Are?, primatologist Franz de Waal argued that humans have frequently failed to account for the abilities of other animals. In 2024, he said, "One thing that I've seen often in my career is claims of human uniqueness that fall away and are never heard from again." So new studies from earlier this year show that animals, let's scroll down rather than up, actually. So the new studies earlier this year show that animals and insects appear to have cumulative culture or generational group learning, something that scientists used to think that only belonged to humans. In some of the most rigorous research done to date on the topic of fundamental animal capabilities, researcher Bob Fisher demonstrated that even salmon, crayfish, and bees appear to have more capacities than we usually give them credit for, and pigs and chickens can exhibit depression-like behavior. How many of you guys out there have heard that pigs are smarter than dogs? And when I heard that originally, I was like, man, that makes you really not want to eat a pig, right? What if they're so intelligent? They could be like our pet. You might as well be eating a dog, you know. But I think pigs might be a little bit more tasty. I don't eat pigs personally. It's halal, but you know, bacon is good from time to time. So there are also concerns about potential abuse of two-way communication technology. Industries that slaughter animals, such as factory farming and commercial fishing, may be incentivized to use artificial intelligence to increase production while ignoring less profitable uses that could decrease animal suffering. Companies could also use these technologies to actively harm animals, such as if commercial fishing boats were to broadcast sounds to attract sea life to their nets. Most ethicists would see this as a tragic result for research that aimed to achieve dialogue and mutual understanding, but it isn't hard to imagine. See, that brings up another good point. If we do learn to communicate with animals, especially animals that we hunt, like fish, you know, pigs, deer, things like that, I feel like most people would just use this to attract them and hunt them and kill them, you know, and lure them in even more so. It would make hunting a lot more easier. But on the flip side, it could also make us, you know, gain empathy for these animals if we can communicate with them and kind of learn how they think and, you know, be able to talk to them and stuff like that. So given that artificial intelligence has already been shown to be biased against farm animals, it is not hard to see how advances in AI could lead to worse lives for animals. But if artificial intelligence does help us crack the code on two-way animal communication, the impact could be profound. So that's pretty much what I have for the AI technology that lets humans talk to animals in real time. I found that interesting. Let me know your thoughts. If you would want to be able to talk to animals, and which animals would you want to be able to talk to, and what would you ask them? You know, a lot of times I feel like I can talk to dogs. You know, a lot of humans feel like they have that communication with their dog or their cat, but you know, being able to like talk to them directly, and you know, that would be interesting. And I do actually have a video to go with this topic. So um, this is from Global Tribune, titled "This AI Technology Allows You to Communicate with Animals." And this is so from Global Tribune. This is from a month ago. Yeah, let's dive into this video. About 6 minutes, about 8 minutes, actually long.
Ever wondered what your pet is really trying to tell you? What if we could actually talk to animals while not guessing, but truly understanding their thoughts? Welcome to a world first revelation that's about to blow your mind. Scientists have cracked the code to human animal communication using the power of AI, and the possibilities are endless. From decoding whale songs to finally understanding your dog's bark, we're on the brink of a revolution that could change life on Earth forever. Ready to witness the future? Buckle up. This breakthrough will change the way you see the animal kingdom forever. Until now, our understanding of animal communication was limited to assumptions. We categorized sounds like whale songs, dog barks, bird chirps, but these labels reduced complex patterns to mere noises. However, AI-based breakthrough in machine learning and neural networks have cracked the code by analyzing sound frequencies, behavioral cues, and situational context. Advanced AI algorithms can now detect patterns invisible to the human ear and mind, allowing machines to assign meaning to specific sounds across species. This isn't just about recognizing simple signals like hungry or danger. AI can break down vocalizations, tail movements, and even pheromones to provide real time translation of animal intent. For the first time, humans and animals are standing at the brink of understanding each other's thoughts on a level we never imagined possible. At the core of this breakthrough is natural language processing, NLP, combined with deep learning networks. AI doesn't just understand human language, it decodes nonverbal cues like a wagging tail, a dolphin's sonar pulse, or the twitch of a cat's whiskers. Scientists train the systems using millions of data points, including bird songs in different environments, ape gestures in social groups, and the high-frequency chirps of bats. As the system learns, its accuracy keeps improving. These models can now predict what animals are expressing with impressive precision, reaching up to 90% accuracy. Dog owners have long claimed that they can tell when their pets are feeling excited, scared, or even guilty.
Many of you out there that have a dog or a cat can feel what your dog is expressing to you, or you kind of understand what they're feeling just by looking at them. When I had a dog, I don't anymore. When I was living with my mom, we had a dog, Starla. I could always, tell when she was, happy or sad or excited, or, wanted to play around or was feeling playful and stuff like that. So it's always, interesting to be able to get those cues from an animal and feel like you're, communicating with them, without talking to them.
But this has always been based on subjective interpretation. With the help of AI, we're now confirming that dogs do indeed communicate distinct emotions through their barks, growls, and body language. A barking session that might previously have been meaningless could now be decoded by AI to reveal nuanced messages, like alerting their human to an approaching storm or feeling lonely while their owner is away. In fact, AI tools have identified over 40 different bark patterns used by dogs, each with subtle differences indicating special meanings. From a playful invitation to a warning, the machine processed results have validated what animal lovers have always believed their pets have been speaking all along. We just didn't know how to listen properly. When discussing conversation, let's say being able to converse with the majestic creatures of the deep blue sea and the sky above. For decades, the haunting melody of humpback whales and the chirpy tunes of birds have mesmerized us. But now, thanks to artificial intelligence, we're unlocking their secrets. Marine biologists are thrilled to discover that those soul-stirring whale songs aren't just beautiful noise. They're actual stories about migration paths, love seasons, and social connections. AI is deciphering these underwater narratives, paving the way for groundbreaking possibility, talking back to these gentle giants in their own language. Meanwhile, bird experts are cracking the code of avian chatter, revealing warnings about sneaky snakes and hawks, and even grammar rules hiding within their songs. The impact of AI-driven communication extends far beyond mere curiosity. It's poised to revolutionize the way we protect and conserve wildlife. Conservationists can now monitor stress signals and vocal alarms emitted by animals, providing crucial insights into threats like poaching, habitat destruction, and climate change. For example, elephants known to make infrasonic rumbles can now be listened to and monitored remotely by AI systems. These signals can warn rangers in real time if herds sense danger, allowing them to intervene before poachers strike. AI is being used to detect distress sounds from wildlife like wolves and deer in agricultural areas, allowing farmers to proactively protect crops and livestock while avoiding harmful confrontations. As we edge closer to real conversations with animals, ethical questions are beginning to arise. What happens if we discover that animals have complex emotional lives far beyond what we've previously assumed? Should animals like dolphins, elephants, or apes who may exhibit near human intelligence be granted greater legal protections or rights? There's also the question of manipulation. If humans gain the ability to understand animal communication, we could misuse this knowledge to manipulate animal behavior for entertainment or exploitation. Scientists are urging that responsible use of AI be prioritized, ensuring that this newfound ability to communicate serves the well-being of animals and not just human convenience. The future of veterinary care is also being transformed by these AI breakthroughs. Imagine being able to ask a horse directly where it feels pain, or having a cat tell you that it's stressed before it starts showing physical symptoms. This could lead to early diagnosis and more personalized treatments, saving countless animal lives. AI-based communication tools are already in development for zoos, wildlife sanctuaries, and veterinary clinics. By using wearable devices that detect vocal and behavioral patterns, vets will soon be able to access continuous feedback from animals, making healthcare more precise and responsive than ever before. Imagine being able to crack the code of our furry friends' secret language. A revolutionary app is on the horizon, and pet lovers worldwide are electrified. No more puzzled looks wondering if your pup's whimper means I'm hungry or let's go for a stroll. This game-changing technology translates your pet's emotions in real time, paving the way for deeper, more heartfelt connections. Let's say smart collars and animal chat apps are as commonplace as fitness trackers, allowing future pet parents to engage in conversations that go beyond basic commands. The unthinkable is now within reach, our beloved pets sharing their stories, needs, and desires, forging unbreakable bonds, and redefining the human-animal relationship forever. This is that we're able to have a heart-to-heart conversation with your furry friend, or the majestic creatures at the zoo. What was once a fairy tale fantasy is now becoming a breakthrough reality, thanks to the revolutionary AI research. As we crack the code of animal language, we're uncovering the astonishing depth of their inner worlds and unique perspectives. This breakthrough has the power to transform our relationship with nature, shifting from control to connection. Soon, zoos and aquariums will become vibrant hubs of interspecies dialogue where we learn from each other in profound ways. What if we could one day speak fluent animal? Imagine whispering with birds, chatting with dolphins, or having a heart to heart with your dog. We are closer than you think. This AI fueled breakthrough is not just science, it's the beginning of a new reality. Revolution.
Wow, okay. So that was from Global Tribune on YouTube. So guys, just imagine, we've heard of all the things that AI technology is doing, helping us with healthcare. You got ChatGPT helping businesses out, and helping us extract data and, do things easier in those ways. But imagine being able, to use AI technology for things like communicating with animals. So I found that interesting. Let me know what you think. Love to hear from you and what you would use this technology for. I definitely think that if we were talking to animals that were in the zoo or in captivity, they would be hearing a lot of things like, I don't want to be here, and a lot of things that make us re-evaluate how we treat animals, right? So I think that would change a lot for us. So, the future is coming, and the future of tech is constantly advancing. So, in other news, let's shift gears into something that's making headlines and sparking discussions. Here's the latest insight into we're about to fly a spacecraft into the sun for the first time. So this is from Future Tech on Instagram. The Parker Solar Probe, once celebrated as the fastest human-made object and the first NASA spacecraft, named after a living person, physicist Eugene Parker, has largely faded from public attention since its 2018 launch. The probe, traveling up to 430,000 miles per hour, is designed to study the sun's corona and the origins of the solar wind, an enduring mystery since Parker first predicted its existence in the 1950s. So on Christmas Eve, the probe, Christmas Eve, which is tomorrow, will make its closest approach to the sun yet, flying just 3.8 million miles from its surface. That seems like a far way away, but I guess in space distance, that's relatively close to the sun. So about 3.8 million miles from its surface and enduring extreme temperatures over 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. This feat involves navigating the sun's intense heat, radiation, and plasma while balancing durability and lightweight engineering. Key innovations include heat-resistant materials like titanium, zirconium, molybdenum, and sapphire crystal tubes for wiring. Molybdenum. That's one. That's an interesting one right there. So the mission seeks to uncover the birthplace of the solar wind, a stream of charged particles critical to the solar system and visible on Earth through the auroras. Despite the technological and financial challenge, this milestone represents a significant step in understanding the sun and its influence on the solar system. So, related to this topic, we have an article from Yahoo. Futurism: a NASA spacecraft is about to fly through the sun, and this was posted December 21st, 2024, which was 2 days ago. So time, look at that, that probe, and look all those rays from the sun, solar rays, solar winds. I'm guessing that's what those are, coming from the sun. All those particles, man, that thing has to be built and designed very well, sturdy, strong. You know, the engineering going into that is incredible. You know, being able to withstand those incredibly high temperatures. It's amazing to think about. So time for a tan. Forget the cautionary tale of Icarus. NASA's Parker, Icarus being, you know, the devil. NASA's Parker solar probe is just days away from flying into the sun or through its outer layers, depending on how you look at the maneuver. So in a daring bid to glean the secrets of our star's mega hot winds, Ars Technica reports, ever since it launched in 2018, the diminutive spacecraft, which weighs less than a ton, has been performing flybys of our star at record-breaking speeds. But on Christmas Eve, the orbiter will make its closest approach yet, coming within 3.8 million miles of the solar surface. At that toasty proximity, the Parker will be plunging straight into the sun's upper atmosphere. And with any luck, it'll make it out in one piece to send back valuable data about what's going on down there, up there, you know, depending on how you look at it. Quite simply, we want to find the birthplace of the solar wind, NASA Chief of Science Nikki Fox told Ars. The crowning achievement, this outermost region that the Parker will be entering, is known as the corona, which swirls with charged particles of plasma amidst the sun's powerful magnetic fields. During solar eclipses, the corona is visible as an aureole of light emanating around the blacked out star. Despite its huge size and quite literally being the center of our existence, many facets of the sun remain shrouded in mystery. That shroud, in this metaphor, being the corona. Paradoxically, the corona is hundreds of times hotter than the surface of the sun, reaching the temperatures of up to 3.6 million degrees Fahrenheit compared to a comparatively mild 10,000 degrees down below. That's incredible to me that, you know, actually within the surface of the sun, it's only 10,000 degrees, but at the corona, it's reaching temperatures of 3.6 million degrees. So scientists still don't agree on why this is the case. Shouldn't the region closer to the core be hotter? My question exactly. Let's read on. The corona is also thought to be the origin of solar wind, a constant flow of charged particles that suffuse the solar system, protecting it against more powerful emissions from deep space. Its existence was predicted nearly 70 years by the NASA. Its existence was predicted nearly 70 years by the NASA probe's namesake, American astrophysicist Eugene Parker. So close observations of the sun have long vindicated Parker's theory, but the mechanisms behind solar winds remain unclear. Along with their extreme temperatures, The winds also travel at ludicrous speeds of around 1 million miles per hour, giving it immense reach. So, to shine a light on all of this, the Parker Solar Probe will have to get up close and personal. It's actually touched the sun before in a milestone setting flyby within the corona in 2021, but never penetrated this deeply. Repeating the feat will take a deft touch. As Ars explains, a solar probe must orbit at exactly the right distance where it can travel slowly enough to gather data, but also be able to dip out quickly enough so that it doesn't melt. And of course, there's the formidable engineering challenge of designing a probe that's nimble but robust enough to survive the extreme temperatures and temperature changes it will be facing. So if you think about just heating and cooling any kind of material, they either go brittle and crumble, or they may go like elastic with a continual change of property, Fox told Ars. Obviously, with a spacecraft like this, you can't have it making a major property change. You also need something that's lightweight, and you need something that's durable. So that's from Yahoo. In related news to this topic, we have a video on YouTube by Insider Tech posted 6 years ago. NASA is flying a spacecraft into the sun for the first time. So this was 6 years ago, but we are getting closer and closer, and we are making continued progress in doing so more and more. So this is from NASA. Let's jump into the video.
NASA is about to go where no one has gone before. The sun. That's right. NASA is flying a $1.5 billion spacecraft into the hottest, most violent object in our solar system, all in the name of science.
So why NASA is flying a spacecraft into the sun?
NASA's unmanned Parker Solar Probe will come within 3.83 million miles of the solar surface. Now, that doesn't sound very close, but it's about 7 times closer than any spacecraft has ever gone before. And it puts the probe smack inside one of the sun's most treacherous layers, the corona, the outermost layer of the sun. Here, the temperatures fluctuate from 1 to 5 million degrees Fahrenheit. And solar flares exist that are so big they could swallow our planet whole. So, why are we going here again? It turns out the sun poses a major threat to our modern way of life. Powerful magnetic fields form near the sun's surface, where they sometimes spark violent eruptions called coronal mass ejections. These ejections fire a surge of highly charged particles into space that will fry any electronic circuits on impact. That includes circuits inside our satellites that control cell service, the internet, GPS, the stock exchange, and much, much more. In 2014, for example, astrophysicist Daniel N. Baker explained what may happen if one of these powerful storms hit Earth directly, explaining it could cause widespread power blackouts, disabling everything that plugs into a wall socket. Most people wouldn't even be able to flush their toilet because urban water supplies largely rely on electric pumps. Such a strike could cost an estimated $2 trillion in damage, 10 times more than Hurricane Katrina. Now, luckily, space is a big place, which makes Earth a relatively small and tricky target. In fact, the last time a powerful storm like this struck our planet was more than 150 years ago, back in 1859. But the risk is there, and NASA predicts there's a 12% chance we could get hit within the next decade. That's where the Parker Solar Probe comes in. The probe can't prevent an ejection from happening, but it can study the corona so that we may better understand the warning signs of an impending storm. And with enough notice, we may be able to protect our satellites from harm. In addition to spying on the sun, Parker Solar Probe has another very important job. Don't melt. To that end, NASA has prepped the probe with 4 highly tuned sensors and an impressive heat shield that will protect the probe's instruments. The sensors are there to make sure the shield stays directed at the sun at all times. The mission will involve not 1 or 2, but 24 dives into the sun, which are all scheduled to take place through the year 2025.
So that's this year. That was 6 years ago, guys. So we are at the precipice, if you will, of being able to study the sun up close. So what this means is we are going to be able to get a lot of data and information on how solar winds and how space itself works. So that's very exciting stuff right there. Very exciting news. And so finally, to wrap some things up, we're closing out with a big one, and here's why it matters. Let me share the screen. So we have radical life extension in humans is improbable this century, but not impossible. So likely, but very unlikely, but possible. Study finds we've likely reached our biological limits for now, or so this article explains from Future Tech on Instagram. So human lifespan may be nearing its biological limit. Despite medical advancements, Jeanne Calment, the oldest person on record, lived 122 years, but researchers suggest a theoretical cap around 150 years or less. A University of Chicago study published in Nature Aging argues that gains in life expectancy are slowing, with the focus needing to shift from extending lifespan to improving health span, the years spent in good health, right? So not about living long, it's about living a healthy and vibrant and life worth living rather than a life that's long. So that's the focus here. Lead author S.J. Olshansky suggests life expectancy might not exceed 85 years in most populations, as medical advances now yield diminishing returns. The U.S. has even seen a decline in life expectancy, partly due to its healthcare system. The gap between lifespan and health span highlights the need for geroscience, studying aging, to enhance health and longevity. Insights from nature, like the bowhead whale's DNA repair, could be key, while centenarians, are people that live up to 100 years or more, are expected to quadruple in coming decades. Their impact on overall life expectancy will remain small. Medicine's next challenge is tackling aging itself. So let's read on. We have an article related to the topic from Popular Mechanics titled Radical Life Extension in Humans is Improbable this Century, but not impossible, study finds. So as we talked about, a new study suggests that the human lifespan might be reaching its biological limit, and increased advancements will likely come from studying aging rather than eliminating disease. This comes from the idea that even if diseases are eradicated, the ravages of aging still impact the body, making it so that life expectancy can't increase much more. The study authors also suggest that more focus needs to be put on improving health span, how long a person remains healthy, rather than just lifespan, the amount of years in which a person lives. So how long can a human live? Jeanne Calment, the world's oldest person, offers a ceiling of 122 years and 164 days. But researchers have pondered that the limit could be around 150 years old, and others say it could be many more years than that. However, a new study published by scientists at the University of Chicago argues that the increase in human lifespan induced by modern medicine may be reaching its biological limit. In other words, we're not getting any older. Published in the journal Nature Aging this past October, lead author S.J. Olshansky argues that any significant advancement in improving human lifespan will likely come from tackling the damaging effects of aging rather than curing diseases. So, most people alive today at older ages are living on time that was manufactured by medicine, Olshansky, a professor of epidemiology and biostatistics, says in a press statement. But these medical band-aids are producing fewer years of life, even though they're occurring at an accelerated pace, implying that the period of rapid increases in life expectancy is now documented to be over. In fact, the continued focus on extending lifespan instead of health span, the concept of improving the years that someone is healthy and not simply alive, could have harmful effects. A recent report from the University of Oxford and University College London stated that the baby boomer generation, those born between 1946 and 1964, is living longer but not healthier, which suggests a widening gap between lifespan and health span. Olshansky has analyzed this slowing rate of health, or rather of lifespan gain since 1990, and argued that the ceiling for life expectancy likely wouldn't exceed 85 years of age. Not only has life expectancy not surpassed 85 in nearly any country, the US famously saw a decline in life expectancy, and in 2023, it was lowest it's been in 2 decades through Harvard, though Harvard pins a lot of the blame on US's woefully inadequate healthcare system. Our result overturns the conventional wisdom that the natural longevity endowment for our species is somewhere on the horizon ahead of us, a life expectancy beyond where we are today. Olshansky said in a press statement, instead, it's behind us somewhere in the 30 to 60 year range. We've now proven that modern medicine is yielding incrementally smaller improvements in longevity, even though medical advances are occurring at breakneck speeds. So that's pretty much it on that topic, guys. Let me know what you think down below on that topic right there. I find it interesting, talking about how, space, lifespan, all of these things are interrelated. AI, these are all just interesting topics. And, let me start this cam up. There we go. We're back. Yeah, so guys, these topics, especially things like health span and how long we're living, AI, tiny robots. These are all just interesting things, in technological advancements that I find interesting and I look forward to in the future. And I look forward to bringing you guys more updates on in the future. So guys, it's been a good episode. We're going to wrap it up here. It's been about an hour. Not my longest episode. It's a holiday episode. I hope everyone's having a good holiday season, having a good day. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Today, we talked about a lot of things. We talked about cancer-fighting robots, AI technology that lets humans talk to humans, or AI technology that lets humans talk to animals, rather, flying spacecraft into the sun, and life extension in humans. So, I just want to thank you guys all for joining on today's episode and tuning in. As always, I love bringing you guys these episodes. We have more episodes coming in 2025. It's going to be a great year, guys. I plan on bringing you guys a lot of different guests, bringing you guys a lot of different topics, and really just, continuously, reaching out to more and more people and getting more and more information out to you guys. So that's what we'll be doing in 2025. let me know down below what your goals and plans are in 2025, what your New Year's resolutions may or may not be. As always, I want you guys to support the podcast if you feel inclined to do so by going down in the description below and joining the Patreon. And that's one way you guys can support the podcast and let me know that you're enjoying the episodes. I encourage you guys to let me know down below what you guys want to hear from and what you found interesting in this episode and what you look forward to in future episodes. And yeah, just let me know. Ask questions about what you want to, got questions about for the episode, and let me know what you thought about today's episode, and whether you think these things are good or bad, and how you're feeling on these topics. So yeah, guys, that's it for today's episode. I will see you in the next one. That has been StormCast, episode 20. I love you all. Stay beautiful, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, folks.